Heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks.
Say the words.
We're gonna sound really dumb.
The adventure bike space is experiencing a massive boom right now, and they have been for several years. You've got everything from dentists on $30,000 BMWs and Harleys loading down their bikes for an epic adventure down the block to grab some Starbucks, to dual sport diehards building up DRZs as long-haul tourers. One of the most popular categories is the middleweight class, ranging from everything from 650s to 900s. Triumph, BMW, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Honda, Suzuki, KTM, Blue KTM, Red KTM, and CFMOTO, everybody and their mother has a middleweight option. But those aren't the best places to start if you want to get your feet wet off-roading. When you look into the small displacement category, there's the Versys X300, which by Kawasaki's own reckoning is a touring bike. You've got the Honda CB500X, which is basically a Versys X300 with a little bit more power and a lot more gall, calling itself an ADV bike. The outgoing Royal Enfield Himalayan, which has since been replaced with the 450 single, making it and the KTM 390 Adventure the kings of the crop. But when CFMOTO dropped their 450 NK with a 270-degree parallel twin, people started clamoring for them to put it in an adventure bike, and now we have one. It's the all-new 450 Ibex, or MT if you're nasty, or European. Basically, since this thing has been revealed, I have wanted to ride one because it feels like it has everything that people want from the Tenere 700 in a smaller, more affordable package with some nice technology built in. This thing has the 449cc parallel twin, the 270-degree crossplane from the SS 450 and the 450 NK, which is an amazing little motor, and in this configuration it's putting down about 44 horsepower and 38 foot-pounds of torque, all while weighing in at a claimed dry weight of under 400 pounds. Now, we actually tested this and got the real wet weight. Because Jake's a naughty boy and wants to actually check, he brought a scale for the 450, so we're gonna get exactly the right weight. He said within 1% of accuracy.
It's the thing with this bike. It's the important thing everybody wants to know. If it's not light, it kind of ruins the thing.
Defeats the whole purpose. Yeah. So let's get the weight. There we go. 213.
Yeah, you think 218 is about average?
I think 218 is about average.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Okay. 218 for the rear.
218 plus 213 is 431. Is that what the math is? 431.
431 pounds.
And 431 pounds is no slouch. Clearly things are looking a little bit different today. That is because I have a limited amount of time on this motorcycle. So I'm gonna quit the jawing and I'm gonna head out on the road. Alrighty folks, we're pulling away on our limited time test run of the Ibex 450. And we're gonna hop on what is gonna approximate our highway section right here. I can already tell just from a little bit of speed demoning around here that on the highway it's gonna feel a little bit small. Admittedly, the bike is sized for a smaller human, and like I mentioned before, the seat height is adjustable for upwards of 4 inches, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. The fact that you can get 4 inches difference makes it big difference, and it makes it hard for me to say, you know, in stock trim it doesn't feel great because most people are just gonna get that new seat. So if you're taller, just spec in $200 extra into the price for that 3-inch tall boy rally seat. Rolling on the power, it feels like a slightly slower version of the NK, the 450 NK that I reviewed like 2 weeks ago. You can definitely feel that this was geared for additional torque versus the horsepower on the NK. I think the maximum this motor puts out is 50 horsepower, and in this, you can feel that it's not making that. However, rolling down the highway is giving me that opportunity to play with the components here, and they feel great. This is another instance where CFMOTO just has really nice componentry on their bikes. It all just feels excellent. And, you know, rolling on there, a little passing power, pretty decent. We do actually have quite a big tank on here too. Jake has been riding this thing around, and he does not play. He's just been wide open throttle the whole time. And I can tell we've still got 165 miles left with 2 ticks down on the gas. So I would reckon you can get close to 200 miles out of this. Even more if you're not like me and him, railing on the throttle everywhere. Now I will say, we do have we've got this in its maximum height, and if I lean down, I'm fine. I'm sure you can actually hear it in my helmet, the difference in the wind noise. If I lean down, it's really crystal clear, but as I start coming up, right about there is where it starts drumming on my fin, and then right here, it's starting to hit me in the forehead. So if you're a taller guy like me, and you're getting that rally seat, I honestly would just leave that down and let the wind hit you kind of in the chin, or see if they've got a taller one, or get one of those little like fin dudes. But honestly, I have a feeling the highway is the least interesting place to put this motorcycle. So let's say we get on literally one of my favorite twisty roads in the entire United States.
Now, if you're going off-road, you probably don't want to get lost. There's a whole list of reasons why you don't want to spend the night in the woods. Werewolves, El Chupacabra, hillbillies, Loch Ness Monster. I could keep going on here, but what's important is that you know where you're going, and that's why I recommend you grab yourself a quad lock phone mount. They're the best in the business when it comes to phone handlebar retention systems. Yes, that's a classy way of saying phone mount, but you try to come up with 45 seconds in keeping it light. Anyway, I've taken several bikes off-road using my phone to track my routes, and after several spills, I've never had it pop off. And thanks to the vibration dampener, it's not going to mess up your camera. Click that link down below and grab yourself one of Quadlock's patent-pending El Chupacabra avoidance systems, and or one of its many accessories. I'm a big fan of the 12-volt smart adapter personally. Check out everything they have to offer, and a huge shout out to Quadlock for sponsoring the channel.
Alrighty, folks. If you know, you know. This is Van Auker Canyon, and it is seriously one of my favorite twisty roads on the planet. We're going uphill, but coming down, it is just I think it's a 17-mile long downhill twisty road that you can just rail on. Let's pick up the pace a little bit on this guy and see what it's got under the hood. This is definitely a little bit more first impression-y than full review, but I will be able to give you a pretty good indication, because I've ridden a lot of the bikes that people are going to compare this to. So I think the first and foremost one that a lot of people are going to look at is something like the Tenere 700, because this is a lightweight, parallel-twin, cross-plane ADV bike with not a lot of technology on it. So when I hear that, I think Tenere 700. And I can say, without a doubt, this handles better than a Tenere 700. It just does. And the front brake is every bit as good as the one that is on the NK, because I'm pretty sure it's the exact same one. One of the things that I really value about CFMOTOs is how good their transmission feel is. They're Kawasaki good in their transmissions. They snick into place really, really well. They're really accepting of clutchless shifting, both up and down. All you gotta do is just preload that lever a little bit, and it pops right into gear. I do kind of wish I had a few extra ponies to play with here. You know, having that full 50 would be nice. I feel like I am sitting at the very top of the power band all the time right now. And I'd like a little bit more in the mid-range, just for this sort of spirited riding. But that's me coming at it as, you know, I'm not going to call myself an expert, but somebody who has a lot of experience on this road and on a lot of different motorcycles. I could stand to have a little bit more power. However, there are not a lot of bikes right now that would be running away from me on this road. I mean, sure, leader bike, of course, you're gonna outrun me. 1290 Adventure, you're gonna outrun me, but I think most human beings, this is the pace they're comfortable running on a road like this, maybe a little bit faster. But they're not gonna gap me like Marquez in his heyday, you know? And I gotta say, it's feeling very light and flickable side to side. It's nice how this package is coming together. It's a really, really fun bike, and you could ride it like a big old supermoto, baby. I don't even need a quick shifter. That's awesome. Yeah, see right there, I'd like to have just a wee tad more power, just a little bit. But I don't need it. I really don't. I'm having plenty of fun with what I have. It's not powering out of a corner. But again, beginner bike. Set your expectations appropriately. Alrighty folks, that is the same trail that defeated the KTM yesterday. So if you haven't seen that, go check out the full vlog from Get On ADV Fest. But one of the fun things about this bike is it's got ABS switch right here. It's right there. And it toggles off the rear wheel and the TC traction control. So it allows you to get a little bit more zesty with just the push of a single button. That's something that a lot of bikes mess up. They really get that wrong. And it's so nice that on this thing, it's there right out of the gate. Because, you know, I don't want the TC interrupting for me as I'm going over this sort of rutted out stuff. Because I had TC on the Aprilia, and the Aprilia was bouncing a little bit when I was riding it. And it was really frustrating until I turned the TC all the way off. Obviously, the Tenere 700 doesn't have traction control, I don't think. At least I don't remember. But if it does, I think you have to do a whole song and dance to turn it off. Certainly, you have to do that with the ABS. Wow, is this nice? This is nice. This is nice. I'm not as confident on this thing as I was on my KTM, but I'm moving at roughly the same speed, maybe a little bit slower. And the mid-range punch that I was kind of bemoaning in the Twisties, it's really nice here because you're keeping the bike kind of in the lower end of the power band. And that extra torque, by giving up the power at the top, is really helping this bike feel a lot more playful in the dirt. Yeah. Oh, this is good. This is good, guys. This is nice. This is a good motorcycle. The throttle's not snatchy. It comes on really smooth. And by the time it comes on, I'm kind of doing that thing where I'm scooching back. It basically puts you exactly where the bike wants you. And where the bike wants you is the right place to be. Let's get to something a little bit tougher, shall we? All right, here we go. This is a slightly more difficult climb. Let's do it old man style and see how it feels. It's bouncing a good bit. Stand up now. Oh, nothing. This is nothing for this bike. Honestly, guys, for a bike that's bone stock, I'm surprised. I'm genuinely surprised how good this thing feels. Now, is this the best beginner bike in the ADV category? It's tough to say, but I'd say that this is pretty damn close. This thing right here has all of the stuff that I want from the KTM with the nice parallel twin that's better on the road, has the adjustable 4 inches of seat height with the tall boy seat and the lowering link on here, almost fully adjustable suspension with rebound and preload in the rear and a fully adjustable front end, and just generally great fitting components that I would expect from a CFMOTO. It also comes in at $6,200 bone stock with all of the stuff that you see here, which is a great package, and the value proposition, like most CFs, is through the roof. It even comes with one of my favorite tires, the Pirelli Rally Scorpion STR on here. It's hard for me to find fault with this motorcycle. And as a result, yeah, you know what? I kind of do think that this is the best beginner ADV bike. Great motor, great handling, good highway range, playful off-road. It's hard for me to find fault with this thing. Just gets a little bit heavy if you crash it, which, as you might be able to tell, I did dump it a little bit. I feel bad about that. Sorry, guys. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think about this thing down in the comments below. A big shout out to CFMOTO for letting me beat up on this motorcycle. A huge shout out to Quadlock for guiding me while I'm out on this trail. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.